Guys, Cody from Dropping Hertz Car Audio here. Today we're here with our SMD DeMoore Engineering Amplifier Dyno. We have a DC Audio 3.5K on the bench. Now we're going to do some power testing, but not traditional. It's just to find out what the amp does. We're going to test a few different theories. The first one we're going to be testing is going to be single 1-aught power inputs with bare copper wire run straight to the amps. The second we're going to be testing, we're going to be using these Toolmaker 1-aught amplifier inputs we have here. Let's have them. See, I already have a pair of them on the end of wire down here. And then after that, we're going to be testing our 1-aught dual inputs. We're going to be recording a few things. We're going to be recording our starting voltage, our ending voltage, our wattage, and then we also have our flute clamp meter down here, and we're going to see what our amp draw is on each of these runs. Each of these is going to be done in uncertified mode, and we're going to go uncertified to clipping at 1 ohm. Alright, we got the dyno ready to go. Our track is ready. Alright, first record our starting voltage. This is going to be starting at 16.23 volts. And what we have for power down here, I have 14 excess power S1400s. The backs are unhooked, as you can see back there. It's a little dark, but we only have 7 of them hooked up. And over here we have a pair of excess power 15 amp IntelliChargers. So we have 13 amps going into this. The purpose of the chargers is just to keep these batteries topped off between runs. 30 amps, as you're going to be able to see by this, is really going to be fairly insignificant on this test. So we get our, alright, we have our clamp ready, dyno's ready. Alright, here we go. This is our first test with single 1-aught inputs. This is OFC wire, and this is just bare copper straight into our inputs. And here we go. Alright, there we have our ending voltage 13.84, 4 volts, wattage of 3798, and we drew some shadows there, 417 amps. Alright, here are our first results. I'm going to set it up with our single 1-aught amp inputs here. This is what we're going to be using. And what I'm going to prove here is people argue that this little stub here on the end, this creates less contact inside the amp, therefore would I guess it would underperform versus just using bare copper straight into the inputs. We're going to see if we can prove this wrong, prove it right, and we're going to see what happens. That's coming next. Alright, we're back. Now we have our 3.5 hooked up. We're using our 1-aught aluminum Toolmaker inputs for our amplifier, and we're going to see what it does. Let's get our dyno reset and ready to go. Alright, we're going to run the same test again, uncertified, at 1 ohm. This is going to go to clipping. Dyno ready. Alright, record our starting voltage for this test. It's going to be 16.11 volts. And our track is ready to go. Alright, and our clamp's good. And here we go. Alright. As recorded, we have 13.94 volts. And we have 3,894 watts. And let's see what our clamp reads. This one we have 407 amps. Alright. So that's our first 2 tests down. Top test was just our bare copper inputs. There with a 1-aught The second test you see is just our 1-aught inputs here. I think that pretty well disproves the theory that anybody says there's just not enough contact area there for the amp for it to transfer power. Man, it's just a big crock of crap, honestly. I mean, there's the numbers for you right there. Actually, a little bit lower voltage, starting voltage. Ending voltage was actually 1/10 of a volt higher, and we have 100 watts more. Man, there's the numbers for you. I think that disproves that theory for any of you out there who think these inputs are crap and useless. That actually showed a gain. All right, next up on our list, we have our dual inputs. I'm going to wire these up and we'll be back. All right, we're back here now. Now we have our Toolmaker dual 1-aught inputs hooked up, and we're going to see what it does here. Alright, we're going to go back into the same mode, uncertified at 1 ohm. Our dyno's ready, track's queued up, and our clamp is ready. Let's see what she does. Let's record our starting voltage again of 16.11 volts. Alright, here we go. Alright, this test we dropped to 14.16 volts. Now we see 3,930 watts and an amperage draw 428 amps. Alright. Okay, here are our 3 tests. Let's just recap and go over this. The top test there was just a single run of 1-aught OFC. We had bare copper wire going straight into our inputs there. Now test number 2. This was again a single run of 1-aught OFC wire, but on this test we had our 1-aught amplifier inputs you see here on the ends of our amps. And then on the third test that we just saw, we still have it here, these are our dual 1-aught inputs. Here are our differences. I mean, these are just straight raw numbers for you. These numbers do not lie. I mean, this is the SMD amplifier dyno we're using to pull the testing off of this. Starting voltage right here around the same numbers. With our dual inputs, we saw the least amount of voltage drop, or about actually close to 4/10 of a volt difference between our bare copper wire and our dual inputs. We picked up almost 3/10 of a volt right there from going from our single 1-aught input to our dual inputs. And we picked up power all the way down the line. Started at 3798 with our bare copper wire, picked up to 3894 with our 1-aught inputs, and picked up again to 3930 with our dual inputs. Those are pretty good numbers right there. Maybe what this shows you, first off, this does not hurt you. This actually helps you versus just shoving your 1-aught copper wire into the end of your amplifier. This is what the main purpose of these, this is to help your install. It's helped to clean up your install. Shoving that into the end of your amplifier, all this does is fray off. You have these just little stray wires hanging off, trying to get all that cleanly into your amp. Pretty difficult. Much easier to install one of our 1-aught amp inputs on the end of your wire and install it on your amp. Makes hooking your amplifier up much easier. Then now we have our dual inputs. Dual inputs, not only do you clean up your install, your amplifier performs better. Seems pretty simple to me. Now we have all of these products for sale. If you see our these 1-aught to 1-aught amplifier inputs and our dual 1-aught with an offset. These are for sale on our website. It's www.droppinhertz, caraudio.com. These are under in the toolmaker section. Now, for those of you who are watching this video, if you stuck with me this long, I'm going to offer you a chance to save 15% on these items, on our 1-aught amp inputs and our dual 1-aught amp inputs. If you use the promo code YouTube15 at checkout, you're going to save 15% on these. I hope this has been informational for you. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. And just come back if y'all need anything. Please let us know. Anybody that's outside of the lower 48 United States, if you email us at sales@droppinhertzcaraudio.com, we'll be more than happy to help you. We can ship anywhere in the world. Again, this was Cody from Droppin' Hertz Car Audio. Hope you enjoy.